So good afternoon everyone. So what I thought I would do is I'm just down at the church at the moment, and there's quite a few people I've noticed that are joining us from other areas and don't actually know what our church looks like. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity while I was passing in the area to actually let people see what Norton Church looks like. So if you are planning on visiting us in the future, as we have announced on Sunday night, we are looking at possibly reopening up in September, but we need to put all them COVID precautions in place before we can actually do so. So I just thought it'd give you a little understanding of what the church looks like, how we're possibly looking at doing things when we come back. Now, it isn't set up at the moment for COVID, so we are working on it. Trust us when I do say that. We are working on it at the moment, but what I want to do is I just want to give you a quick look around of what the church actually looks like. So I'm just going to flip my camera over. So at the moment I'm stood outside. So around us at the moment we've got Darlington Lane. I've just had to socially distance a bit there, obviously because we've got people walking past and things. So we've actually got Darlington Lane. So we're actually on a main road. Now there is parking available on the main road, but the main parking is obviously on the car park here. Now this is for anyone to use that wants to use it, that's visiting us. But there is restricted parking, as you can see, around on the street. So we do need to be mindful of the neighbours when you are visiting us. But I'm just going to take a walk up here. So this is actually our main entrance into the church. And what we're going to be planning on doing, hopefully, is we're going to do a registration system so we don't have to all start queuing up here when we do open up, if the social distancing's still in place. So what we're probably going to be doing is offering staggered times for you to come in. So that would mean that we'd need you at the church for the slotted time. So as you come in, you can see this is the entrance here. We've got the toilets over there. They will be restricted to one person, one cubicle in each one. And then as you look through there, that's the tea room. We'll go through there in a minute. So you walk into the church. Normally you'd have someone here welcoming you, but as we all know, we're not going to be able to sing at the moment when we come back. So what we're planning on doing is doing 2 meters for the chairs. The chairs will obviously be in twos, so you can book up to 2 people within your household to come with you. So that's a maximum of 2 people from each household. And I'm not quite sure on numbers yet, but keep an eye on it because obviously the numbers could change. I have been looking into plastic screens from the rostrum, but because we're on a higher rostrum, we should be okay. So we just need to make sure that we've got at least the 2 meters from the front chairs that are at the front of the church. So hello everyone that's watching, by the way. And what we'll do is, obviously we're going to be down to limited numbers. If you've got any questions as well, pop them in the comments bar, and I'll try and answer them as we're walking around. So that's the rostrum, obviously where the speaker and the chairperson normally works. Obviously it's a confined rostrum, so it's probably going to be less movement about. The speaker will have to stay at one side of the rostrum, chairperson to the other. So the idea is that people will come in, they'll take a seat, obviously with the 2 meter distance and in place, we'll measure it all out and everything. So there will be seats available. But as I say, it will be booking. And what we will ask people to do is obviously we need you to provide us with your contact details as well for track and trace. We are looking at ways of being able to do that. So if you remember, or you've registered your details, rather than giving them to us every time you come in, we're looking at maybe doing a ticket. So it'll be a laminated ticket and it'll have your number on it, and then we can just register them details whenever you come into the church, rather than you having to give us your name and address every time. So it's reducing the social contact. So that's just a little look of what our church looks like. So this is the church hall. Obviously, it can hold up to 90 people, but we just can't obviously let 90 people back in with the social distancing rules. So I'm just going to take you through into the tea room. So the idea is, by the way, people will come in from the door over here. They'll come in this way. And then what we need to figure out is which one-way system are we going to go. So we're going to empty people from the back of the church back out through the main door first. Or the other alternative is, when we go up the tea room, you'll exit out through this door, and it's whether it's safer for us to go back through the main door, or you're going to have to go back out through the garden. So we are looking into that at the moment, which is going to be the easiest and safest way to do it. One thing that I know that we're doing at the moment is that we're missing people that are around and about us. But what I do need to say to you is if you do come to church, please don't congregate outside after the service. We do need you to leave straight away. I know we're missing everyone at the moment, but it's just something we have to do. We've just, we're going to have to stay behind and clean everything as well after you guys have gone. So we've got extra tasks on our hands at the moment that we're needing to look at as well. So just a quick look at the tea room. Obviously, this is where we would all congregate normally after we've had a service. We'd normally welcome everyone into here, but just at this current state of time, we're not going to be able to do that. You probably noticed as well, Sam's set up an online shop on Facebook. So that's some of the shop on there. Obviously, Sam's got other things going on there. So have a look at the online shop on Facebook, because obviously that's available still. We're posting stuff out to you. We've got stuff like salt lamps on there, there's figurines, there's stones, there's different ornaments, we've got incense, we've got different types of incense over here as well. We've got some more stones. There's all varieties of things, but have a look on the shop, because all the information Sam's put on there, that's what's for sale. And I know Sam's in Germany with Lee at the moment on holiday, and normally when they go, they bring stuff back. So Sam might be bringing stuff back with her as well. Normally we'd have the crafts area as well, where people can just put a goodwill donation in for donated gifts that they've brought in. We have got the book library cabinet over there as well. Unfortunately, I've got to say to you, when we open back up, that has to be closed because it's a risk of infection. So I know a lot of you like taking books out of there and stuff, but I am so sorry, but we just cannot give you books going forward for you to read. They will be available as soon as we are able to make them available to you. So I'm just going to take you out and round this way. So obviously committee, normally in the kitchen. So I'm not going to bore you with the kitchen because you know what a kitchen looks like. But this is our blue room. So we would use the blue room normally for healing. But when I was running middle class in the past, this is where we would do the middle class. Don't worry if you're seeing the light flickering, it's not spirit, it's the light's faulty. And we would normally do the middle class in here. So we would normally have a group of people in here working in the middle class while the other classes would either be working in the tea room or the church. But we're only down to 2 teachers now, so we only use the church and the tea room. But this is a lovely room to get healing and things in. And it's places where we go and we have confidential chats with people or people who have queries. House clearance people, we normally ask them to come in. We normally sit in here with them. Obviously, we can't do that now due to social distancing yet again. So if you have any queries, you can still get in touch with us via Facebook and things like that. But at the moment, the classes are on hold. It's because we've got committee members that are vulnerable. And obviously, every time we open the church up, we've got to clean it. So I'm just moving into the garden here. So I just want to show you the garden, because a lot of people won't have actually seen the garden, because you probably just go straight after the service. So, you know, we've got a lovely garden here. We normally use this in summer fete as well. So this garden's normally absolutely... We've got a marquee that we put up in the summer, normally for our summer fetes and things, and our readings days, so people can have a bimble and sit in the garden and just relax. And, you know, our caretakers really do look after this. So it is a really nice garden for us to be able to come and sit in. It's just a shame that we're not able to use it this year for our summer fete, which is absolutely devastating. But we will get back to it. We sure will, guys. And I've just got to point you to that angel that we've got over there in the corner. Now, we used to have a rose bed in the middle of the garden here in front of the tree, where we planted ashes and things. But we've actually moved it all over to there where the angel is. So I know there is quite a few people's ashes in and around and about the stones where the angel is. And it's just nice for people to be able to go and sit around that and think of their loved ones if they need to. Now, I'm just looking at the comments here and I'm noticing that Ben's just asked, are we doing online services too? So in answer to that, I'm currently... trying to price up stuff for us to be able to go online. Now, this is going to be a cost to us again, so it's going to be, we are looking into it, but with my treasurer head on, I need to look at what the costs are going to be for the church going forward. So we need to actually weigh up how we can get the best revenue out of that, I suppose. That's where I'm going with that. So yeah, Kate, it is a nice garden, isn't it? And it's well looked after by the caretakers, I need to say. It's I don't have time to come down and do this, but the caretakers spend a lot of time doing it. And one of the projects that we've recently done last year with your money and donations and things that the congregation have given us is we've had to actually re-fence the full garden. So from behind the shed here, we've got a full re-fencing gone on. So I'm just going to show you down the side, because these are our emergency exits at the moment. Obviously, you can see we're in the middle of cleaning everything out. But we've had to do things like that. So it's nice, the garden. But this side's a lot clearer than the other side, because we do have to have an emergency exit. And I'm walking around thinking, please don't let there be any rubbish around here. And there's a table down the bottom, but hey ho, you can still get through the gate and things, you know. So we have got a clear pathway that we can use that way if we need to as an exit strategy to come out. Now, the idea is if anyone's just joining and hasn't been watching from the beginning, I'm just going to flip the camera back over. The idea is that we're looking at using some sort of booking system, as I've said. So if and when we do open the doors up, we are looking at the end of August, possibly the beginning of September at the very earliest, because we've got a lot of work that we need to do still beforehand. So the idea is that hopefully you'll book in, you'll be given a time slot. Hopefully if you can register your details on there, that'll be better. What I do need to say to you though is if you do a booking but you can't make it, you need to let us know, because if we've got walk-ins coming in, we can then allow them walk-ins to attend. With you booking a seat, that is guaranteeing you a seat. But obviously if you're not coming, I'm not saying we need to, that's the wrong word to say, sorry. But we can offer that seat to someone else. And it's about us, it's about a first come, first served basis. We can't prioritise on people, because we need to make it fair for everyone. So once that booking is open, it's first come, first served. And yeah, we probably could do a reserve list, but that means still you're not guaranteed. And it's like I said on Zoom last night, we are not here to be the police. We're here to make this a safe environment for you to come back to. Now, this is going to impact our income because obviously we can only allow 30 people in. So, you know, we are going to be taking a hit for it for at least, I would say, the next 12 months. So it's going back to that factor of what we were talking about on Zoom last night when I did the announcement of me challenging back to you as a congregation, what can you do to help fundraise, to help keep us afloat? Because there's a lot of churches out there doing that now. And one of mine and Kyle's pledges is for goodness sake, I don't know why I even thought about doing this, but me and Kyle are going to be doing in August/September time, hopefully before we open the doors back up, we're going to be doing a 138-mile bike trip from the east coast to the west coast, down the coast to coast on our mountain bikes. And when I was reading up on it last night, I was like, what have I done? Why have I done that? But hey ho, it is what it is. And for me, it's about giving the church something back. You know, I spend a lot of time doing stuff for the church, out of my own time, my personal time, and I enjoy doing it. I need to say that I do enjoy doing it, and it feels like home, and it probably does to a lot of you guys as well. But I want to challenge you to say, what can you do? Would that be a walk? Would it be a run? What would it be? It's entirely your choice what you decide it to be. It doesn't have to be one of them things. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be done over a day, because this cycle is going to take us 3 to 4 days we've planned out. So we're going to be doing it over 3 to 4 days. Now, I'd like to do it within 3 days, obviously, but if it takes us 4 days, it takes us 4 days. So it's not about just a one-day thing of saying, this is what you've got to do in that one day for that charity fundraising event. Now, we are charities registered, so there's no problem there. I am looking at ways of donations, so I'll share that information of how we can do the fundraising, and it goes officially through charities, through the registered charity and everything like that, so it's verified properly. I'll have a look into that, and I will provide some guidance on that once I know what's going on and what we can use. But I know there's companies out there that take a percentage off us as well, so I just need to weigh up which is the best way to get the best revenue back for it. And also, obviously, being able to give people the choice of gift aid and things like that. So, challenge back to you is, what can you guys do? Have a think about it. It's not something we've got to rush into and do, you know, because we are healthy. We are healthy. There's not a problem with money, but it's like, how do we keep the revenue there? Because we do need to do things like, we're going to have to look at replacing carpets and things, because carpets are old in here now, you know, and there's work that needs done. We need electrical work doing at the moment. So one of the lights above the rostrum's decided to give up, but the new lighting fitting that we've got, not long enough. So we've got to get an electrician in. So we're getting some additional work done on the electrician stuff as well while we've got the electrician in, because it's not value for money if we don't do it all in one go. So they're just a few things that are going on. There's a lot going on in the background, even though we're still not here. So, you know, look forward to coming back is what I want to say to you, mainly, because we will get back and we will get there. And last time I was stood in here, apart from doing the video a couple, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago it was now, last time I was in here, I was doing the President's address on the rostrum, because obviously we had to announce we were going to close because of COVID, which was a horrible address to do to people, because the last thing you want to say is, I'm closing the doors, or we're closing the doors because of what's going on. So please be aware that, it's in safe hands. We would love to see people coming in that have been watching us on Zoom out of the area, that have never been in, and do tune into us on Zoom as well, because what I need to say is that it doesn't run any differently on Zoom to what it would in the church. The only difference is with it being in church is that there's that personal touch in regards to physical communication, whereas you're working with energy in the room when you're in the church. When you're working on Zoom, you're still doing the same job, but it's harder because obviously there's not that energy in the room. And for the mediums that are watching, they'll understand what I mean, because we work with energy. That's what we work with. So, it's a lovely place. I could come and sit here for hours and just enjoy it, So that's exactly what we want you to do, but we don't want to have to become them people that you can do this and you can't do that during this outbreak. So please think responsibly. And one thing I do need to say to you as well is it's your own. If you do choose to come to church, please remember it is your responsibility to ensure that you feel safe. We will put in as many precautions as we can, but we will never fit every single criteria on everything, okay? And you need to also ensure that you're safe as well. We can put the restrictions in place, but you guys need your own personal responsibility of safety as well. Now, I was watching a video last night. I'm sorry I'm rabbiting on a bit here, but I just think it's worth sharing this information with you. I was watching a video of something last night, and there was a lot of questions and answers being passed backwards and forwards, okay, from another church organisation. And one of the big things was face masks. Now, I need to say to you, because a lot of people will be thinking, do I need a face mask when I come back into the church? That is your choice completely, okay? We're not going to tell you have to take it off. We're not going to tell you have to wear one. It is your choice. Oh, it's a fly. It's all right. I thought it was a wasp behind me then. Face masks are your choice at the end of the day. They're not compulsory to wear in the church, but if you feel safer wearing one, then you are more than welcome to wear one. If you want to wear gloves and come in wearing gloves, that's absolutely fine as well. We haven't got a problem with that. One thing we cannot do as well is provide water during the service, because it would be what's classed as cross-contamination from one of us filling the water jugs up to providing the water. So you're going to have to bring your own drink with you, okay? What we do ask is that you don't bring fizzy drinks in and things, because if they get spilt on the floor, they're an absolute nightmare. So water, ideal, things like that, bottles of water, but also take all of your rubbish with you when you leave, because it's a logistical nightmare for us to get rid of rubbish. We've got to double bag it, keep it for 72 hours, and then we can dispose of it. So it's a logistical nightmare for us to get rid of rubbish. So we do ask, if you've got rubbish, please take it with you back home and put it in your own bin, because obviously it then takes that responsibility away from us having to discard rubbish. So yeah, face masks, entirely up to you. Gloves, entirely up to you. I'm about on Zoom every service night that we've got. So if you do think of something later on and you want to ask, you're more than welcome to do so. And you know, it's definitely a place here that's warm, loving and welcoming, and we want people to feel warm, loving and welcoming, because at the end of the day, you're coming to have that communication with your loved ones that have passed over, and we want to make that visit for you as peaceful as it can be, even though we can't give that social contact at the moment. So, just as I'm finishing off, I'm just going to give you another look at the church. So I'm just looking at the comments here while I'm just scanning around the room here of the church. And I can just see here. So yes, Doris, we miss you as well. You know, and the church is still here. It's still strong. We've got a lot of work to get on with while it's being done. So, you know, it's not going anywhere. I can promise you that. Lois. So yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you, Lois, when obviously we open back up. That's not going to be till August time, September time. So just keep an eye on the Zoom rooms, because obviously that's where everything's going on at the moment. But obviously we will be sorting this place out ready for September. Fingers crossed if nothing changes. And let me just see if there's anything else. So yeah, Andrea, we're really looking forward to seeing you as well. Mr. Cole, hello. I have just popped in. I'm not doing anything yet, but we will have that chat about what we're going to do with the seats and everything closer to the time. So oh, right, good question actually, Doris. Yeah, I'm glad you've asked that. What about collections? So, for example, if that's going to be your entrance there, what we're going to have to do is all these rows, yeah, so we're going to have to remove rows out as well. At the moment, there's 90 seats, as you're looking at here, okay? So what we'll be doing is we'll be pairing up 2 seats, 2 metres, then another 2, and 2 metres, then another 2, okay? But then what we've got to do from behind this front row that we've got here, we're going to have to do like a triangle effect on the seating. So that's where it reduces it down a lot, okay? So it'll be a triangular effect. So say these 2 seats here are your last 2 on this row, then your 3rd row back, which are these ones here, there might be your next 2 metre seats, okay? But they'll be measured out to make sure that there's 2 metres between every direction. So we might only end up with a maximum of 30 seats in here at a push. It might even be a bit less. Depends on how much room we've got. So yeah, on the collections, you'll come in through that door and you'll go to your seat where you're told, you won't be told to sit at it, but we'll ask you to come to the front, take your seats, and then we'll work people back behind you. Now what will probably happen is we'll probably use something like that and put it near that door if that's going to be the exit. So the collection plate will sit on there, okay? Other thing I'm looking at as well at the moment is getting a card machine. So literally you can donate by card, so you're not having to handle cash. So that means that you can pay by card rather than having to pay by cash. So that's another way we're looking at it, and that then reduces the risk again of us having to bank the money, because otherwise we've got to keep the money in the safe longer, etc, etc, etc. And that just makes life easier for us if we do card payments. So that's one thing I am looking at. Nicola, healing. Right, so I need to speak to the committee further about this, because again, this video I was watching last night, they're saying that you can do distance healing. So that means you could still do, theoretically, 2 metres away from the person, but there's no actual hands-on healing. Okay, hands-on healing's a big no-no. So you could possibly do the 2 metre distance healing, or even further back from them than that. But you can't approach the person more than 2 metres. So the person has to be 2 metres away from you. So I'm going to have that conversation with the committee and see how they feel about that. And then we will let the healers know what the answer is to that when we have made a decision on it. Because again, it's got to be added to the risk assessment to see what imposed risks they are and things that we have to do for the council, because obviously the council are wanting to work very closely with us before we open back up. So I need to get an answer on that. But I've heard of distance and healing, if that answers your question. But I need to know where the committee stand with that, whether they're in agreement with us doing that or not, whether we're going to provide that service. Because then the other issue we've got as well is if we do that, you've got people waiting behind. So you've still got people, and the other people have got to pass them people. So it's, how do we do that? So you can understand where I'm coming from. It's the logistical side of it, okay? We need to look into that. Because it's just all them types of questions. Maybe if they are wanting healing, we query it when they come in, or you tell us when you're coming in that you want healing, and maybe we'll put you towards the back of the church, start from the back of the church, over that side first, so you're out the way of everyone, and then we'll put everyone else up towards the front and then fill appropriately that way. It's, it's just all sorts of logistical things we've got to look at. Yeah, Doris, no raffles. Reason no raffles is, again, because of cross-contamination. If, let's say, for example, asymptomatic, is it called, where I could be a carrier of the virus, but I haven't had it. If I touch the raffle and say I'm a carrier, then obviously I give that to you, and you are, let's say, someone susceptible to that virus, of catching it, then again, we're causing an infection. So as much as we love doing raffles, because obviously it gives us a little bit of extra money, we can't do it. We can't do it. Because I did get asked that question by Pam the other day, and I had to say to her, you've got no way of doing that because social distancing. So raffles, I'm afraid, are out of the window for now. Even if we do come back at the beginning of September, what I do need to say to you as well is it will be one service a week. So you won't have the Sundays and the Mondays. It will only be a Sunday night. A Sunday night, that's right. So we'll be doing a reduced service due to the singing and everything. So there won't be any singing. We might have some music playing, but that's about it, because, again, they're saying that singing can cause the spread of the virus through particles of breathing and things like that. And that's government advice as well on the government website. So we won't be able to sing, so it's more likely we're going to have to play some music instead. We will still do the prayers, obviously, but we won't be asking people to join in on the Lord's Prayer, obviously, again, because that'll fall in under the singing category, but whoever's chairing the service will lead that prayer in regards to the Lord's Prayer after the medium's done it. And I think one of the other things I need to share with you as well is, if we did come back in September, what we've got to be mindful of as well is we need to keep the online services going, and we need to keep the donations going that way as if you were in church, because if a medium decides they don't want to come to church because they're vulnerable or they're worried, it's their safety at the end of the day as well. So if a medium is worried about it, then we've got a duty of care to ensure that they're as safe as our congregation. And if they don't feel safe and they don't want to come, then we can't do a service. And one thing I did say to the committee the other night when we were holding the meeting is as much as you guys love coming to church, I don't want the responsibility falling on the committee to have to provide the service every week, because I don't want people to get bored as well, if that makes sense to you. I don't want people to feel as if, it's them again. You know, I don't want that. In that case, I think we'd be better honest opinion, I think we'd be better sticking with Zoom. We are in touch with mediums at the moment, so if any mediums are on here watching this, please get in touch with me via the Facebook page, please, because I am wanting to have them conversations with you to see where you are with things, how comfortable you feel about doing services, because I've noticed a couple of churches are opening up this week in the area, and I think it's too soon. Personally, for myself, I think it's too soon for us to be able to bring you guys back. And that's because of my own reasons, and because we've also got a committee that are vulnerable as well. And I've also got to think about the congregation as well. So they're the reasons why behind we are not opening up, because there's too many risks still in place for us. So if you do have any other questions, then please do drop me a Facebook message. If you need to speak to me, ring the church phone on the first instance, where you'll get Mary, but ask Mary to pass your contact details on to me, and I will get in touch with you directly. Or if you've got me on Facebook yourself, just drop me a message on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm just Chris Archibald. You'll see me on there. I've got a pint of lager in my mouth for some reason still on Facebook. But I'm on there. So if you do need to get in touch with me, there are the ways you can get in touch with me. Or there's the email address, which is on the Facebook page and the website. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you found it informative for people who never got to see the announcement last night. And I hope that for people that haven't visited us, that do want to visit, that this place is a really nice place, and we offer anyone that warm and loving welcome when they walk through the door. You might feel when you're walking in that it's a bit scary, but trust me, when you leave, you'll feel like you've never left the place before, because we do like to make people feel welcome when they do come into church. So I'm going to leave that with you, and I'm going to say thank you for listening to me, and if you've got any questions or anything like that, do not hesitate to drop us a message, because we are still here even though we can't be in the building, okay? And we are here to support people. And if anyone needs any support or anything, we will do what we can to try and support you during the times that this is going through. But I do need to say to you as well, please take care of yourselves. If you do decide to come back to church when we open, please remember, if you don't feel well, don't come. Tell us if you've booked a place, and tell us you're not coming, because what we don't want is getting to the point of where we've got to turn people away. And just actually before we do go, one other thing I am looking into doing as well is getting a temperature checker. So it checks your temperature when you come in. We will be face masked up, we will be gloved up when we're doing it, if we do that. Because obviously, if you have a high temperature, we're not saying you've got COVID, but we've got to protect everyone that's in here as well. So that's another thing we are looking at doing, okay? So I'm going to stop rabbiting on, because I'll probably talk about this all night, because all I've done for the last 3 or 4 days is look into this constantly. And there's a lot of information out there, but if any other churches are watching and they need assistance with anything that they're thinking, oh, well, actually, where have you got that from? Let me know, because I'm more than willing to share the information I've found and help any other churches out that need that help as well. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Say thank you for listening to me. Don't forget, we're back on Tuesday night with Lawrence Saville at 7:30. He's from Poole Christian Spiritualist Church. I'm sure we'll have a great night. We'll have a good laugh. And then we're back on Thursday for the Open Circle. And next Sunday, we've got Tom Woolridge with us, who's a local medium from Gateshead. That's all the speaking I'm going to do. And I want to say good night and take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.